What up, guys? Welcome to Base Damage. And this week on the podcast number 59, we are continuing on our overview of SAO Ordinal scale. And I thought it was going to be only like 2 videos for the overall set discussion, but we're doing a full 4 videos for this. Anyway, this is Kool-Aid, and we have Timmy. What's up?
What's going on?
It's all good, bro. How was NecoCon?
NecoCon was fantastic.
Bruh, I'm going to hit you up for details later, but I'm certain that was...
Oh, yeah,
really
I got to
awesome.
show you some of those pictures, actually.
Oh, God, you got me some cosplay pics?
I have some pics of myself and from other people, but I was looking really hard for a Coco. Could not find one.
Oh, so sad. It's all good.
I saw a couple Yangs, though.
Huh, awesome. I do like to see those, so... in general,
unfortunately, I couldn't get a picture of them, though. I did see them, though. They were quite popular.
Gotcha.
They're actually very accurate, and I was like, oh, well, I'm not waiting in this line. Not today.
I understand.
Not when I was cosplaying Archer from Fate, so I was chasing down a Ren, and I could not find her to save my life.
So
Found
sad.
a couple sabers, though.
Ooh, good. I had to see if I can check out those pictures at some point then. But yeah, that's cool, dude. We'll do it like we did before. I'll do the odd, you do the even, and we'll just alternate that way. And obviously starting off with best girl, just my personal best girl. I know you prefer Xenon, right?
I do. Okay. But I mean, Liz isn't bad. She was on it. She was honestly like 1.5 to me, you know.
You said that, and I immediately thought of Kyle. I'm sorry. Horrible inside joke there. Okay. Number 51, Lisbeth, Unbending Will, is a 1055. It's a double rare, so I'm going to have fun trying to pick this up for waifu deck. If you have 1 or fewer characters in back row, this cannot attack. That's not going to be a problem for me, but at the same time, that is an interesting drawback.
It's kind of a trifling drawback when you think about it, but...
Agreed. If you would really quick...
Because you need a full back row for it.
Exactly. So you basically have to expend hand. That's whatever. Right. If you would, while I'm reading this off, would you pull up the climax that's the experienced party play climax?
Ooh,
I think
it's good thing I have every card pulled up. I will find out. I have it up already. Yeah.
I think it's the 1K1 salvage trigger.
It is indeed a 1K1 salvage trigger.
Awesome. When this attacks, if that 1K1 salvage trigger is in the climax zone, you may pay the cost, which is 1 stock. If so, choose one of your other characters and this. They gain the ability for the turn that when the battle opponent becomes reversed, you can salvage a character. So, that is actually really cool. This does trigger anti-salvage. That's, for anyone curious, but at the same time, that's kind of whatever to me.
I mean, if you need the card, you need the card. Like...
Yeah. The cool thing is that since that only does for 1 stock, that's actually kind of nice. With the extra milling cards and whatnot that SAO is going to have anyway, this may actually prove to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, and it's on attack, so I mean you get the stock back.
This is true too. So that means at least she's going to be a 65. Now, because you have to have back row characters, she's probably going to be bigger than that for her to be able to attack in the first
Unless
place.
you just threw some cards back there to be back there, but
and if you have multiples of these, it will stack. Like if you swing with one of these first, give it to another copy of this or another card.
Yeah, because you're just adding you're adding text to it, not replacing. So.
Yeah, so you'd be able to stack this effect with multiples, but you'd only be able to get the salvage effect, but so many times. So, all right, that's kind of cool. I'm interested in that already. And number 51 or 52. I'm sorry, I just read 51. But
I was gonna be like, I guess you're going again.
I know, right? No, but yeah, number 52.
Ooh, one of this favorite series of mine so far. Chain Attack Silica, level 3, 2 cost, 95 power, another double rare. Continuous ability, if all your characters are either Avatar or Net, this card gains 1500 power and the following ability. And the continuous ability being, during battles involving this, your opponent cannot play backups. And it has an auto ability of when this card is placed on stage from hand or via the effect of a Chain Attack Kirito, you may put the top card of your clock into the waiting room.
Ooh, that's gonna be so good. We kind of peaked, and we know what Chain Attack Kirito does, but we're not gonna go.
We peaked on all the Chain Attack cards. We're like, wait a minute, what?
We really did. Not wrong.
Multicolors, rainbow decks.
That's what I'm saying. There's gonna be like rainbow decks for days for a lot of this stuff. Or maybe like you basically get to pick and choose for a lot of stuff.
I need to save this discussion for Kirito.
Yeah.
Once we get to the Kirito card, I'm sorry, discussions are going to hit the fan.
Yeah. Understandable. So can't play backup, but your opponent can still play event cards. So this is still susceptible to things like Compass and Darkness Plan. But either way, that means, they're not getting over her if they can't do like normal character backups unless they have to have an event that buffs. Anyway.
Right.
All right. And then the heal's always good too. All right.
Yeah.
So,
heal's always fantastic.
Yeah.
And then her becoming 11's not bad either.
This is true too.
Considering there's like kind of no way you're not going to have all Avatar nets, but
yeah. This is the whole fucking deck. So
unless you just have it. What? Is Pina a net or an Avatar?
No, she's a dragon and familiar.
Oh, so with Chain Attack Silica, you cannot have Pina.
I don't think so. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know it was Dragon Trait is one of them. I don't remember if it was familiar or not. We'll check that.
I want to say one of the cards was familiar, but we'll figure it out.
True. But that's the only 2 double rares out of red. So we're going right into the rares, which is number 53, Silica on Stage, a 0/500. First off, it's a 500 assist in front. It has 2 other abilities after that. So a act, pay 1 stock and rest this. Choose one of your characters with Avatar net. Okay, no, it's 2 different abilities. It gives an ability to a character. I'm sorry. So the second ability is you can give the ability to a character that when the battle opponent becomes reversed, you may choose a character in your waiting room and salvage. So being able to grant that's actually kind of interesting. Once again,
you can grant that without a climax combo. That's really good.
Yeah, and basically this would stack with that level 1 Liz. Like all of this stuff would just be able to stack upon stack upon stack, which is kind of
geez,
cool.
like you can on attack salvage like 2, and then since you reversed it, salvage another one. Like geez,
you just it requires so much stock, but at the same time, it does it. So
at the same time, you're getting it back as well too, or specifically for the Liz's. But
fair enough.
So you'd like pay 1 and salvage like 2 or 3 cards. It's actually pretty interesting.
And you can basically use this at any point of the game. If you see that you're able to go ahead and want to do this early on, you can. If not, you save it for later. It's all cool.
Yeah, or if you're about to refresh and you really need to get some cards out of there before.
This is true too.
Like, oh man, I'm about to hit level 3. I'm about to refresh. Let me just grab a couple of these real quick. All right.
I can't say I blame you on that one. I've been in that predicament before.
Oh no, like I like to salvage when like my entire deck is in the way. I'm like, okay, just search my deck. Neat, I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
Or search the remnants of my deck, I should say.
Yeah. Continuing right along, number 54.
Lisbeth Frank Personality. Level 0, 0 cost, 1,000 power, 1 soul, and it's a rare. Auto ability. When your other character becomes reversed in battle, choose one of your characters with Avatar and net, and that character gains 1,500 power to the end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
And when your character's trigger check, reveal a climax card. If that card has 2 soul trigger icons, you may pay the cost, which is 1 stock. If so, choose a character in your waiting room and return it to your hand, and discard a card from your hand to the waiting room.
Awesome. So, I feel that the discard effect on that's a little unnecessary.
I feel like the discard's really unnecessary, considering quite the couple cards before us didn't require that. But
yeah, it has to be a 2 soul trigger icon, which is only going to be all climaxes. And you still have to pay a stock after that. So, admittedly, you're essentially paying the stock out. Because you do the trigger check. Actually, no, the timing of that's interesting. Because the trigger step, the card isn't in the stock just yet, in case any effects
it's in the trigger zone.
Have to resolve. So, the stock before it, meaning you have to have, if this is off your first attack, and you don't have any stock, I don't think you can do this. Basically, because of the weird timing of shit. Because when you go to trigger any effects that go off right then and there, the card isn't technically in the stock yet. So it's not like you can pay that stock out. It's not like you can trigger this +2 soul thing and then pay the stock out. I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, I know, because this is on reveal. So the moment you reveal it, this triggers.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing we were talking about. I was ranting about a while back where there was timing issues with people not doing the like before the book trigger climax would go into the stock, you have to draw. So
Yeah.
it's like it's still being revealed type thing. And another thing, for the 1K1 gold bags, I've had to learn this recently with Glitter Green. When you trigger the gold bag, it lets you do an additional blind stock, but you have to blind stock first before it goes in the stock. So it'll be
because everything has to resolve first before it goes away.
Yeah, so because of that, I could be completely wrong on this, and if I am, someone please tell me why I am right or why I am wrong. Either way, in the comment section would be greatly appreciated, and it'll help clarify stuff up for other people. But to my understanding, if you don't have any stock before this, and the first card you do is the +2 soul trigger, you can't even pay for this. On top of, you still have to discard it after, I thought was a little excessive. The 1500 buff thing is actually kind of nice, but at the same time, like, most of the time you only see like 500 or like 1,000. And I've seen the 1,000 be like on a level 2 for that effect. So to see this on a level 0 that you can throw down right at the beginning of the game, this is actually kind of cool for the first effect. The second effect, not so much.
And then honestly, you can just kind of leave Lisbeth specifically here in the back row, and just when something gets reversed, just buff something else, you know?
Yeah, so this would this would not be like a 4 of for me personally. This would just be like a tech 1 or 2.
I mean, I would honestly say 1. It's sword art. You can afford one ofs everywhere.
Like, some of the original Wiz cards, the climaxes for them did have 2 soul crits. So it's not like I wouldn't be able to test this out with some of the previous Wiz stuff, but it's whatever.
It's just that discard hurts. Yeah. But I mean, worst case scenario, you can always just discard a climax.
Fair enough. Or do that, and then if it's off of like one of your on reverse salvages anyway, just get that card right back anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
So that'd be funky. But at the same time, Anywho. Alright, so moving right along. Number 55, Rika, lively after school moment. You notice how this does not have a translator's note stating that this is not a Lisbeth card. Just stating. But it's a 0025. It's a rare. 1 soul. When this is placed on hand from stage, put the top 2 cards of your library in the waiting room. And this gains X power for the turn. X is 1,000 times the number of characters with avatar or net amongst those cards. So she could basically become a 45 for the turn. And the mill off that is because like red wants to salvage, so you have to have cards in the deck to be able to salvage, and that's what that is based off of.
Right.
Even if you mill 1 climax, that she still becomes a 35. That's nice. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
Homegirl, we big, yo. If you go first, this kind of sucks. If this is only level 0, because it'll just go back down to a 25 at the end of your turn. But either way, just that over the shoulder look of whoop. I don't know. Me being weird. Alright, so.
Yeah, but definitely, like, outside of the very first turn of the game, this isn't a bad 0 at all, actually.
Yeah. This next one I kind of like a little bit. Number 56.
Silica Preparing. Level 1 cost, 6,000 power, a rare. Continuous skill. If you have 2 or more other characters with avatar or net, this card gains 1,500 power and character encore.
This one.
Wow.
Yeah.
A 1/1/7/5 with encore. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. This ability is very easy to get off, like straight up. So a 1-drop for that big and a character encore is actually very nice. Silica cards,
especially if you already have the back row for it. Like go to the back row, you're 75 with encore.
Absolutely, and that's if you don't have other buffs. This picture right here is kind of reminding me of. It was a picture of like. Oh man, it was Ruby from Love Live Sunshine, where she just is like holding up a knife and it's like teleports behind you, goes to stab. That's what it reminds me of. I might have to edit that. Anyway, that's kind of cool. And Silica cards have always been known for being big, like early, like level 1 and 2 stuff gets very very big with Silica.
The exact opposite of her character.
Exactly. Why, Bushi? I don't know. But yeah, so interesting little thing there, and you do see Pina right there. It's like, what's up? Once again, this is also a Silica card that is a Silica card. Just stating. Getting into more of these chain attack cards, more of your favorite stuff.
I love it.
Number 57, Chain Attack Liz. Is a level 3, 2 cost, 10k, 2 soul, rare. So I'm going to be picking these up like a madman. When this is placed from hand to stage, or by the effect of Chain Attack Kirito, you may salvage one character with Avatar and Net from your waiting room to hand. So no discard off of that either, so just get back a salvage. Which is really cool if you do end up doing this with like the Chain Attack Kirito and whatnot. Play this, grab a Chain Attack Kirito, whatnot. So I remember seeing this on a lot of like early stuff. I don't remember a lot of SAO stuff ever having this on play salvage effect. Like
I can't think of any off the top of my head at the moment. I want to say I can recall like one or two, but
I've seen this in plenty of other decks, plenty of other series. Let me correct myself. There might be a Silica that does this, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. And then when this attacks, you may pay the cost, which is discarding any 2 cards. I like that, and not it having to be like specifically Avatar Net. If so, If so, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So that's kind of nice there. The if you know you can go push for game off that, that's really cool.
I mean, especially if they're at 3/6, and you're just like, hey, well, discard 2. Well, if you have,
like,
if you want to live this one burn, by all means.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's not gonna like make or break the game unless it's in specific situations, because otherwise that discarding 2 from hand is a little hefty.
It's very hefty.
Yeah, but it's also only on attack. But at the same time, if it was like when your battle opponent gets reversed, that'd be cool, because then you can still do it on your opponent's turn.
Right.
Like the Leaf of Clock Shooter. Adventure with everyone. So, still another thing that combos with the Chain Attack Kirito, and I'm just making a note of it, and then we'll get back to that when we go over the blue cards next week. So,
I will say I do like, even though it is a pretty hefty cost, the discard 2 kind of makes you feel rewarded for doing all the salvaging early that we've been seeing so far.
This is true too. The fact
it does make you feel like, well, I salvaged all this for the skill, so reward. I get to use the skill without, hurting myself.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, in reality, you're only holding 2 cards in hand. Like, do I really want to discard 2 cards?
That would be hilarious. It's like both of the damage and her damage gets canceled. It's like, well, fuck.
What did I do it for?
All right.
But like, even after these discard 2, hopefully the other 2 Lisbeths will be able to salvage you back some things, or if you put the level 1 with this Lisbeth as well, give the skill to this Lisbeth, and maybe she pay half the cost herself with the salvage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely some interesting things to try out.
This next one is also an interesting one. I just don't remember what the climax is off the top of my head, and we'll check that in a sec. Number 50.
Cruel Trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cruel Trap, I can tell you right now, is when this is placed on hand to the climax zone, perform the it's the standby one. The crit and the standby.
It's the standby one? Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
That actually...
I'm going to need you to explain the standby, though, because I'm still not unfamiliar with that. But still got 2 close for comfort. Level 0, 0 cost, 2,000 power. Ooh, 2,000 power for level 0. Wow.
Yeah, okay. This affects.
But this card is placed on stage from hand. Look at the top card of your deck and either put it to the top or into the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
And then Climax combo, return this card to your hand. When Cruel Trap is placed on your Climax zone, you may pay the cost. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an Avatar or Net, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you put it back where it was.
Now, because this returns back to your hand, I feel that this should have like the you add the card and then you discard afterwards. Not the Liz. From
yeah,
before.
it's like I feel like this one would be the one that's like, because you're kind of. That's actually a really hard plus when you think. Well, no, not really.
No, this pluses. Like,
let me see, because
this returns to your hand, so you're getting that back to your hand. Secondly,
well, you got to remember that you did. I'm assuming you played it this turn more or less as well.
Yeah, like the first effect is supposed to set up for that, which is another interesting thing we'll get to in a second with going over the Cruel Trap effect. So if you see that the top card of your deck is a card you want to be able to play, you can go ahead.
If you already know it's an Avatar Net that you want, then by all means go ahead and
really
combo out and just take it.
Really, as long as you know that it's an Avatar Net and not a climax or an event, like you plus off of this.
Indeed.
Because you get 2 cards to hand. Technically, it's 1 off of your field that you can just reuse later or not. It's whatever. But this does essentially put 2 cards back to your hand. And another cool thing about this is it does open up a slot.
Honestly,
yeah,
I'm thinking of the chain attack Lisbeth from earlier. This is another way you can kind of mitigate that discard 2 cost. If you climax with a Cruel Trap, you can just get this back to hand and then discard it for her effect.
Oh, that's off the trigger? So, good point. If you have enough of the cards back to hand, you could.
Yeah.
Very true.
Because this is on placement of the Cruel Trap, not like, during battle or anything.
Yeah. Then if you trigger the +2 soul one, it's a different story. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cruel Trap being the standby trigger, which is one of the new things that have been implemented. When it's played or when it gets triggered, you perform the action of basically summoning a character from your waiting room with a level equal to your level +1 or lower. So if you're level 2, you can summon a level 3 or lower from the waiting room. If you're level 1, you can summon a level 2 or lower from the waiting room to a position of your stage as rested. So that's actually really cool because you can time how these effects go off. But at the same time, like if you have this goes back to your hand, so it opens up a slot. So you can summon over something if you want to with the standby trigger, which I'll go ahead and pull it up just to show what this card looks like. Cruel Trap. There you go. Let's have a rare version. That's actually both of the climaxes in the red too, so that's an interesting picture. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember talking about you with this earlier.
Yeah. So, anywho, basically, normally you can summon over top with this when you use the standby trigger effect, but like with this Silica, it bounces back to your field, so you don't have to summon over back to your hand, so you don't summon over anything. You have an open slot to be able to summon, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, you don't have to go neutral. You can just kind of plus from it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Admittedly, though, the climax does not give any buffs. That is the drawback. Is it does not give any soul. It does not give any attack. It just does a summoning effect.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was kind of questioning. I was like, really, that's all it does?
Yeah. So it's more useful if you trigger it, but it's whatever. Continuing right along. Number 59, Lisbeth, Signal of Counterattack. And it's a 1/0. It's uncommon, so we're getting to the uncommons now. 1/0/4/5, 1 soul. When this attacks, if you have 2 or more other characters with Avatar or Net, this gets plus 2,000 power for the turn. And up to 1 time per turn when this becomes reversed in battle, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a level 2 or higher, you may rest this card. So it's the coin flip simulator cards.
The coin flip simulator cards.
Yeah, it's people who would make decks that basically, when you reverse, when a character of yours would get reversed, their effect would go off, and you basically had enough cards in your overall deck build where it was about a 50% chance of the effect either proccing or not to basically be able to save the character. So that's why they called it coin flip simulator. Still really cool. Admittedly, with decks like this, you put in a lot more level 2s. You're probably going to have a lot of level 3s anyway, but you put in a lot more level 2s. It's kind of crazy. But at the same time, it's alright. I wouldn't say this is like a hard 4 of by any means of the imagination, but it's still alright.
I know. I mean, especially since you're going from like the prime Lisbeth deck, basically, like you have better level 1s to run, really. But
you really do, but at the same time, like outside of this secondary effect, it's a guaranteed during your turn free 65 because 2 or more Avatar Net. Come on, it's gonna happen.
Right.
But yeah, next is
not a hard requirement at all.
Yeah. Number 60.
Silica Bounding Cuts.
Interesting name.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's really weird. Level 2, 1 cost, 5,500 power. Continuous ability. Your other character in the front row slot gains character encore. And another continuous ability. All your other characters with your Avatar Net gain 1,000 power. Ooh, so blink 1,000 and front encore. That's neat.
It's neat, but even for like back row assist, this seems to have a decent bit of power.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5,500. I wasn't expecting that.
I would have expected something like a for every other avatar net it gets a buff type thing.
Yeah, I was expecting like for every other one it gets like 500 or something, but
Yeah, but to see it be like essentially have the stats of something that's going to be back row, it's just kind of weird to me.
right. But I mean, still blanket 1,000 and
Yeah.
the character encore for front row slots. Like, oof.
Yeah, no, at level 1, being able to summon this off of the standby trigger is great.
Like I can see where a 1 or 2 off of this card would come in handy pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be interesting there.
And it's an uncommon, so we'll never see it.
Damn. Let me go ahead and pull up these. Oh, watch out! I see a Keiko. So we're gonna have silicas that are not silicas. I know I keep like joking about that, but I'm also not had to pull out the climax cards for this. So it's only 8 more cards.
It is the pet peeve of the day, really. So
it really is because it's an aggravation. I'm sorry. But it's understandable for Silica and Keiko because it's 2 different names. Anyway, number 61, common. So, Lisbeth challenging the boss battle is a 0/0/500. During your turn, all your other Silica challenging the boss battle, probably coming up in a second, gain plus 2,000 power. And it has a bond with that Silica where on play, you put the top card of your deck into your clock. So you forcibly deal yourself a damage, but that's not like too terribly bad. Like opening, it's not a stock. That's actually kind of okay for like early game to be able to go ahead and get this, depending on what the Silica is. So
right, like I would much rather just take the damage and then just get it instead of being like, well, I don't have the stock to pay it, but the moment I do, I'll get this one card that may not matter.
It's not bad, but we'll see how that is. Like I don't have. It's not.
I think it really
card.
depends on the Silica.
This is true too. So number 62.
Is this the Silica? No, it's not.
It is not.
Keiko with an Amaze look. Level 0, 0 cost, 1,000 power. When this becomes reversed in battle, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 0 lower character, put it into your hand. Otherwise, put it back.
Mm-hmm. So.
And that's it.
That's still not bad.
I was like, not bad, but it's also not the best level 0 they've gotten.
Admittedly, if this is one of those things, like you want to be able to get that Silica that climax combos with the standby trigger. Like that's one of the things. But other than that, like there's a couple things this could actually work well with. Brainstormers and whatnot be good to be able to hit off of it.
Definitely.
This next one still is not that the one that combos. Silica Happy Gesture, number 63. So 1055. If there are 3 or fewer cards in your stock, this gains plus 1,500 power. That's kind of weird, but she get bigger? Wait, 6? That's a free 7K.
Ooh. If you're behind, that's a...
Now, the drawback to this being insanely oversized, the character opposite this gets Clock Encore. So your opponent, I don't mind. Give my opponent Clock Encore. Let them take some damage. Yeah,
they can take all the damage they want. Granted, it's going to become quite annoying when I'm like, can't they just let this thing die? Nah, Clock Encore. But
which this also kind of makes me understand why you do have the various costs, like on attack stock payments, so that you can keep it down to being 3 or fewer cards in your stock for this effect to go off. So they're trying to make it so Liz and Silica combo off of each other, which is weird, but that's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it kind of worth doing all that stock payment from like level 0 and level 1s that we've seen so far, because then at least you kind of guarantee yourself a big unit.
This is true too.
Yeah.
And even like late game, if you end up paying out, this still being a free 7 cost before any other buffs, like that global 1,000 is really nice. That'd be a free 8K at that point. Bitch, please.
Right.
So.
And of course, I'm going through this as a mindset of like a mono red deck, but
yeah. And
even then, even with like the other colors, it still isn't a bad card if you're running red at all.
Nah. Like, giving your opponent Clock Encore is better than giving them Hand Encore, in my personal opinion.
I mean, most definitely.
Yeah,
at least, I agree with your opinion there.
Yeah. I don't mind if they take damage. Especially if it's at level 3 already when you're doing this. Yes, sure, go ahead.
Right. And even then, even early, it's just like, whatever, go ahead.
Yeah.
Guaranteed damage is guaranteed damage. I'll take it.
Absolutely. So, it's interesting. This is a very interesting card. Put it that way. To me. Okay, here we go. So, this one's really easy for you. This is really easy for you. 64.
Ooh, the card we were looking to combo this entire time. Silica, challenging the boss battle. Level 1, 0 cost. 5,500 power. That's it. It's a vanilla.
So, the Liz... okay, sorry, I'm just doing, like... I have the pictures lined exactly up, so when I switch over from tab to tab, it's just Silica, Liz.
Silica, Liz.
Silica, Liz. Anyway, sorry, me being weird there. So this bonds with a vanilla, but it gives the vanilla a buff of 2k to basically... It's a global as well. During your turn. Only, damn. So on your turn, a free 75.
Free 75, yeah.
That's not bad. So...
It's not the worst thing in the world, no.
Nah, I wish it was just constant, though, like as opposed to just during your turn. That's just...
I mean, it kind of makes it feel like it wasn't worth it. But...
Yeah. But you had a very easy one there. Damn, you better get some water, though.
Oh, yeah, I did. That took a lot out of me.
Oh, mine's easy, too. Number 65, Rico with an amazed look. It's a 2-1 counter. It's a 3,000 backup. And that's it. So, it's just basically, that's it. It's a 3,000 backup. Continuing. All right, so number 66.
Okay, we're getting to the ease parts of it. Oh, okay, well, this one's okay. All right. Lisbeth, eager to join. Level 2, 2 cost, 6,500 power. For each of your other characters with Avatar Net, this card gains 1,000 power. Ooh, that's really good. And at the start of Encore Step, if you have no other rested characters in your front row, you may pay the cost, which is 1 stock. And if you do, you rest this card.
That's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, that's actually a really good card.
Like, okay, two stock, admittedly, sure. But let me have a 10-5 as early as level 2 that it's got 2 soul too. That's actually really good.
Yeah, 2 soul. I actually didn't even mention that. Yeah.
You're fine. I just looked at it myself. So
I just happened to look at it as well. Actually, the moment you said, I looked for the symbols. Oh, there's 2 of them there.
So this is not bad. Admittedly, it is dependent on the number of cards you have on field. Sure, but that still doesn't bother me.
On average of 3 cards, including this one, that's 8-5.
Once again, this is also really good if you're at level 1 and you proc the standby trigger. This is really powerful level 2s that they're basically saying, go ahead and play your standby triggers. Get your big level 2s out on the field, like, really early.
You know, yeah, this looks like one of those targets for it because it only has 6,500 power.
Oh, it doesn't matter about the power. Like,
yeah, I'm saying, like, it looks like one of the targets, like, kind of like a, oh, you can kill this easily if they cheese this in.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
Say if you suicide, like, one of your characters, and then your later attack would trigger a standby trigger, you can summon over top of that reversed character.
Yeah, and then just...
So then it's like, oh, okay, well, now I have a full field, and she's a 10-5 at level 1. Have fun, you know?
You're right.
If you happen to kill her and kill everything else, too, I can just pay 1 stock, and she's, perfectly fine. So they're wanting to have effects that make you want to play the standby trigger stuff, which is still cool to me. Like, I may end up trying to do some funny little things with that.
I feel like 2. I would max myself out at 2 standby triggers if that was the case.
There's certain ones in Bang Dream where they do whole play sets.
Yeah.
Like,
see, I can understand Bang Dream though, because I mean, you get to actually play, level 2s and whatnot in Bang Dream. Mm-hmm. It's sort of your level 2 lineup has more or less been a backup, another backup, a third backup, and either Machine of Ice or the other level 2 Xenon.
One of the big ones that they do
that's one.
Yeah, one of the big ones that they do for Bang Dream is the characters that they try to summon have switch effects on field, basically being able to just exchange places. So they would summon like a big level 3 off of a standby trigger, and then during their opponent's turn, move it to the front row.
Right.
And stuff like that. So it's kind of cool in that regard. Also, the field manipulation is very powerful, and one of the few ways you can interact with your opponent on their turn. So field manipulation like that is really cool. I've just yet to see that for SAO in this for the
that's what I was going on about basically. I was like, they can actually make use of it more than Sword Art can at the moment, but
Very much so.
But definitely for experimentation purposes, I can see myself capping it at 2.
Gotcha. Test run.
And but of course, if I'm running a climax combo for said standby, I would probably run 3 or 4. But that's just I would have to devote myself to that climax combo.
Understandable. And now we're getting into the events. So there's only like 2 events for this for red. So number 67, singing makes her happy. It's Silica. She's like performing in the mall, just like, hey, I'm fabulous. I want to be an idol. So 1-0 red event. So if you have no characters with Silica in the name, you cannot play this from your hand. So watch out for them Keikos. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a level X, choose a level X or lower character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. X is equal to the level of the card revealed this way. So it's pretty self-explanatory for that. And this is another one of those interesting little cards because that Silica that comboed with the standby trigger, you get the top check, and if you see, oh well, this is a level 3, I'm going to put this back on top of the deck, and then I'm going to play this event.
Right.
And that way I can grab a level 3 or lower type thing. So it's not little combos here and there. This isn't the greatest thing in the world. I've seen some stuff that does this a little better, but this is still not bad. So
I mean, if you're making that mono Silica deck, by all means.
Yeah, by all means, go for it.
Actually, yeah, you know what? This reminds me of that Nico event. Super Auto Nico. That's it.
That one grabbed from the deck, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
but it had the same principle of if
idle?
you have no characters with Nico.
And the same principle of idle.
Yeah, that too.
So
singing.
Enough. Yeah. And lastly, number 68.
Ooh, number 68. Former strong enemies, level 3 cost event. Deal 4 damage to your opponent.
You getting Disgaea vibes off of this one? There was a event called Mecha Jennifer, if I remember correctly, that had something similar to this, but you burned your opponent for like 5 or 4 or 5 damage. I forget what. I think it was 5. So kind of funky there, and it's one of the big bad boss monsters from SAO.
Indeed, that was one of the bosses in the movie.
So this is kind of weird. Like, it's uncommon. That's not even a bother. It's like you pay 3 stock for 4 damage. Sure, it's more damage than what you're paying.
Honestly,
this doesn't speak to me though. I wouldn't really try to run this.
I was like, honestly, if you're spending 3, you better be playing it on a level 3. I'm sorry.
If this was a counter event, I would actually attempt this.
No, if it was a counter, it'd be great. Because you just pay 3 and be like, oh, I'm about to lose. Haha, just kidding.
Well, they have a counter event in Love Live Sunshine, Nice Oodles, that has something similar, I think lower cost, lower level to be able to play it at, and you can burn for like almost 5.
Oh, geez,
and it's a counter event. Nice Oodles, like I could be completely wrong. I kind of want to look this up now.
Actually, yeah. I mean, since you mentioned it, you may as well.
Yeah, fair enough. So,
I was gonna say wait till after, but then I was like, oh, it's already recorded, so may as well go ahead.
Might as well. So let me find this thing. It was in the first Bang Dream set. Like I just as a comparison, I don't really care for this event all that much because I've seen shit that's not Bang Dream. I said Bang Dream tonight. Sunshine, blah.
I knew what you were going for, but you did say Bang Dream as hard as you could.
Go Menosai, it's Love Live Sunshine. I know I said Love Live Sunshine the first time.
You said Sunshine the first time. But then just that time you were just like, yeah, Bang Dream. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So blah. That was brain fart. Billy's done it before. It's an event, or it's Yoki Soba in the Japanese one, but it's like Nice Oodles in the English. Okay, no, it's a level 3. It's a 2 cost, and it's a counter event. 1, it's a 2,500 backup, and then put the top card of your library in the waiting room. If it's level 1 or higher, deal 5 damage to your opponent.
Oh, jeez, yeah, that's
1, you're guaranteed a buff, regardless of whether you do the 5 damage or not. But that's actually really, really good chances of it for level 1 and higher. Is really, really good chances.
Right.
For only 2 stock. And it's a counter event. That's what I say. by comparison, this is much better, and I realize it's in a different set, but I don't care. This does not appeal to me. So, bye-bye.
I mean, I feel you.
Red is kind of underwhelming to me. I still got some decent stuff here and there, and depending on how, like, the whole chain attack deck is going to be, once we go over stuff for blue next week, this is, like I said, this is fairly underwhelming.
I can say it's underwhelming at first glance. I will say I would, if I try to think of all the other cards Red had from previous sets, I feel like it can actually make something pretty decent. But like compared to the rest of this set, this section of Red has been a little bit underwhelming. Just a little.
Yeah,
focused a little bit too much on salvage.
Yeah, that's Red in general, but at the same time,
yeah, but like usually it's not that hard focus. Like everything in here had the word salvage written on it somewhere, I'm sure.
Somewhere. Like I've seen mono silica decks, and I literally, other than Peanut, like the entire deck is nothing but silica, and those decks I've seen do very well. As far as like regionals and shit. There was one dude, I don't know if he was at Atlanta, but there's apparently been word of one dude that's all he runs is nothing but silica, like over and over. So he's about to get a whole bunch of stuff he can try out. But that's like all the dude runs is silica decks, and he does really well with them. It's insane. I don't know, maybe he's just got real lucky off of it. It's not a bad deck. This is trying to
maybe
push
silica's just his avatar.
Apparently.
Heart of the cards, top deck in your avatar, all that snaz,
There you go. Like these cards seem like they're trying to push the Liz Silica combination a bit more than previous sets as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also feel like that's kind of like a stab at the movie a little bit too, considering they were kind of always together in the movie and interacting with each other. But
this is true too.
Because Bushiroad does like to do like the little kind of, I don't want to call them Easter eggs, but they're kind of Easter eggs though.
Yeah.
Of remember that one scene where they were together? Yeah, here's these two cards that work together from that scene.
Yeah. I realized I didn't actually show the image art for the 1K1 salvage trigger. So just to show, it's actually got Asuna, Silica, and Liz all on the picture for that. So I just realized I didn't show it off. So
experience party play.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Someone did a funny little edit and actually added like a crit symbol to this and posted it on one of the Facebook pages, and like, what the fuck, Bushi? You're just messing around with people just to get people triggered, quote unquote. See what I did there? And then showing the. How old is Silica by the movie?
Time to figure it out. Hang on.
Is it still considered underage as far as this? I don't know.
You wanna?
I don't know.
I agree, I'm pretty sure, but we can hit it up. We can hit it up.
No, we can't. No, if it's underage, we can't hit it up.
No, not that type of hit it up.
I know.
Okay, so I don't know when exactly the movie took place, but by Phantom Bullet, she was 15.
It's after Mother's Rosaria.
After Mother's... Okay, yeah, so basically 15, 16.
I think that's legal in Japan. I don't know, whatever. I'm not a Silica fan.
Who knows?
Anyway, so...
Again, it's perfectly okay for Kirito's cousin to just be like, Kirito, you're sick. Can I sleep with you?
I
then
realize it can't be her, but I'm shaking my head. Just...
And then, Sugaha gets right on in there and just cuddles on up to Kirito, who's in another world fighting, but, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Fun times.
Yeah. Outside of that, like I said, Red seems a little underwhelming, but at the same time, they only gave it 20 cards. Like, I don't know, maybe they tried to do a more even amount across each. Admittedly, they wanted to be able to
I feel like the card pool is pretty huge with the other sets, but again.
But
again, just for for the terminology of just new stuff, like this didn't seem too new at all.
Yeah, it's not like, a lot of it isn't bad cards. There's some that are just like, nah, there's no reason to play this. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that just did not, like you said, it doesn't feel like it's a new thing. Because a lot of times you see the new shit, you're like, oh fuck, I want to play this stuff.
Right. Don't worry though. Don't worry there. We're gonna look right through this blue and question why we don't play just mono blue 24/7.
You're not wrong. Like
I did the same thing for Gun Gale when it dropped, and that's why I built that mono blue deck. So I was like, blue is just simply better than everything in the set. What am I doing?
At the time, it really was. Before Mother's Rosario, it fucking was. It was great.
I was like, why would I not just build mono Xenon here?
Yeah. Well, like back then,
except for my 4 of Kirito.
Yeah, this is true too. Like back then, the better engine for it was off of the Asuna Invites to Party.
Yeah.
So that was also like pay stock and whatnot. It was a spin trigger. It's whatever. Yeah. So, and Zekken Yuki is way better. Anyway.
Yeah. I also used that level 1 trial deck Kirito with the
Yeah, that still wasn't bad.
Photon swordsman, yeah.
Yeah.
Turns into Shimikaze when you climax combo.
Yeah. Hey, Asunakaze. What? They're getting one of those.
Yep, we went over that card. I remember that.
Yeah.
But either way.
Yeah. So next week we're going to be going over the blue cards, and the week after that I'm probably going to have like a little bit of an intermission as far as before we go over another set, because the very next obviously Excel World dropped today that we're recording this, but it's going to be December before we end up going over the Excel World Infinite Burst set. And that will end up being just highlighted cards, like particular cards within the set, because I looked over prices. Not a lot of stuff in the deck is pricey. Like,
yeah, not too much of it at all.
Like, there are expensive cards, don't get me wrong. The fucking level 3 Kuriyuki Hime it's up there. But it's only a handful of cards that have a price tag, and just those. Like, it's a fairly large price tag, but it's like, it gives me TLR vibes.
Yeah, where it's like, I got the entirety of the deck except for that one necessary card, and that one necessary card ends up being the entire spending of that deck. But
yeah, like the three or four of the biggest cards in there, 2 of them were promos for TLR. The Petite Mikan and Petite Yami, that some people didn't even run the Petite Yami, they just ran the Petite Mikan. So at that point, the other 2 was a $12 card and the level 3 Yami, which is anywhere from $30 to $40. So, but those were the 2 most expensive cards in the deck. Everything else is cheap as fuck. Like,
and it's like, well, I either have to pull these cards or break the bank.
It's not like, outside of the expensive shit, the rest of the deck is easy. Like, and that's just what it feels like for Excel World for me. Like, just looking at prices alone. I've seen some of the card effects, yes. So it's going to be interesting to see. Because Infinite Burst was really good in JP, to my understanding. Like, that was
wasn't
one of
like the definitive meta things at the time.
I don't know if it was definitive, but it was up there.
I was like, I know I heard a lot of like, this is all they play type ordeal. So
yeah, a while back I was asking around some of the other more well-known players as to whether people care for him or not. Peshcats, I ended up messaging him. I was talking to him about a couple different sets. And I was like, well, hey, what are some sets I should probably keep an eye out for in case we do get them in English? And Infinite Burst was one of the ones that he told me about. So that was a couple months back. Like, I want to say earlier this year. I cannot remember when I talked to him on this. But it was a long while back, but we're just now getting it. So it may still be a thing. I'm not 100% certain.
Meaning we still have hope for ReZero?
Yeah. It still has a lot of accelerate abilities. A lot of people don't really care for taking damage too terribly much. It's go big or go home.
No, like I am not a fan of accelerate too much unless I have to do it.
Yeah, and even then it's like, do I want to?
Even then it's more like I'd rather just minus myself and find a different way.
Yeah. So, well, like again, once with the Silica that gives your opponent Clock Encore on a character, It really depends on the character. But even then, it's like a lot of people don't care. It's like, okay, my opponent may end up not even using this because people just don't like to take damage. So, I don't know. It just depends. So, anywho, with that, we're going to be wrapping this up in a bit here. Yellow and green, I very much liked. Red, I'm going to be picking up more stuff for collection purposes. Blue looks like it's going to be where it's at.
Blue is just going to be forever up there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, put it that way. Let's see. Any other announcements or any other things that you think we need to talk about real quick?
Not really.
All right.
Not really. I was going to mention the giveaway thing, but I was like, oh yeah, we don't even have the details of that yet. So
yeah, actually, well, that's a good question. I don't even care. We'll bring this up real quick. What do you think would be, like, we tried the tournament stuff. Do we want to try to do another tournament, or do we want to do something else? I don't even know what else would
it depends, because I could say low key I kind of want to do a tournament, but then also another low key is like, it's holidays, just give something away.
Exactly, and at the same time,
we could also just do both. But
yeah, during the holidays, also it may be tougher for people to be able to coordinate plans. That's
right. So I was like, it's holiday, just
that's
give something
wild.
out.
So I don't know what the details of it are going to be just yet, as far as how it's going to be done. I got lucky with the last one when the files and shit got messed up. Where it was about to be when the whole thing for the Atlanta Regionals was up, I was like, oh, we can just have people pick which deck I'm going to use.
Right.
I don't know what the details for that would be. So I'll think of something. It'll end up just being like a simple little giveaway, and it'll probably be over the course of like a 2-week period or something.
Right.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and be working on that and try to put up a video for that soon. Either way, thank you all very much for listening. Thank you very much for staying with us this long. If you have, please subscribe if you have not already. And even if you don't, hey, just shit, thanks for listening this long, hearing us rant about cards and our salty-ass opinions. More mine than, whatever. Timmy's like, I'm good. I'm good on a lot of this stuff, and I'm here going, what the fuck? Anywho.
Just remember, Billies are not Kool-Aids, and Kool-Aids are not Billies.
Damn, you have such a good point that I'm so sorry. It's just one busts through walls and one doesn't. Anyway. Anywho, with that, we will sign off for now, and we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace.
Peace out.